it is Naya, aka Princess Naya, and I'm back with another Tired Ass Mum Presents Can I Shit in Peace? And today I'm joined by somebody who not only I super admire and respect, but for someone back in the day when I was doing all my rounds of performing who booked me consistently and put cash in my pocket. And for that, I am forever grateful. I would like to introduce Nadu. Would you like to introduce yourself, babes, and tell the people what you do, maybe today and not what I just spoke about like 10 years ago?
I mean, it's still the same shit 10 years later. Am I allowed to swear on this?
Yeah, oh,
Okay,
oh girl,
good.
yes,
It's for the
you
mums,
are.
not for the kids.
It's for no kids around here. No.
Appreciate that. No, well, thank you. It's been a journey. I'm Nadu Placca, founder and director of the Zoo XYZ event extraordinaire. Period. That's it.
Events
really.
extraordinaire, and that's an actually amazing way to say it because you do. And you are a mother.
I am.
Yes, you are a mum, and you are
Tired-ass mum.
Tired ass mum.
Honestly.
So hold on a second. Like, Kizzy's 4.5. How old is your daughter?
16.
And you still are claiming tired ass mum-ism, Nadu.
100%.
Are you being serious?
100%.
So it never ends.
Never.
I don't have nothing to look forward
I'm
to.
doing a 2-year countdown, but I still don't feel like it's going to end at 18.
Listen, please talk me through your process, okay? Because I can't. All right. So I'm an entrepreneur as well, obviously, as you know, and I've managed myself as an artist, and I've been doing all of this stuff. And on my rounds, I always get applauded, and I get, you're doing so well, and you're probably one of my biggest cheerleaders as well. Like back in the day, telling me all this stuff, and I never had a child then, and now I've got a daughter. I feel like I look at every single mother I have ever met in my entire life and have a whole new version of respect for them that I never even knew was physically possible. Because having a child and being your own boss and making ends meet for not just yourself anymore, but for a small person, like it really hits different. Do you know what I mean? And like, how have you coped? Or like, what's the secret?
So it's
because
funny.
you look fly as well.
Thank
I know
you.
people might just be listening and not tuned into the video, but this look, I'm really feeling it. Yeah.
No, honestly, do you know what? It's funny because I didn't ask you this specifically before because I wanted to just be completely raw and open when I'm here.
Yeah.
First question is, how much time do we have? And also, how open and honest do you
I
want me to be?
want the real. This is not
Okay.
like, I'm not like, this isn't a Mary Poppins, let's dress it up and make it look really, really pretty.
Yeah.
Like, I want the authentic version of the truth because I feel like I owe it to people listening to this podcast to understand that it's not all roses. And there's been times in my small 4.5 years where I have sat and felt like, but life was very different before, and I wouldn't mind feeling that today.
Yeah, that
and
thing's gone, babe.
Do you understand? And I think people think that when you wish for that moment of solace without anyone, not just your child, anybody, that is selfish of you. Yeah. And how could you wish to not have your child today? Yeah. When the truth of the matter is, she's 4.5.
It's funny, I've been having this conversation today, the last week, the last year, the last fucking 16 years of my life, because it completely changes. And one of the things I realized, even up until this morning, is you're still putting someone else before yourself.
Yeah.
Like the be all and end all, that's now changed. That's the new norm for you.
Okay.
You can't even think about anything else. Like when I first got pregnant, I was 19 and I had my daughter, and it was just like, I'm actually responsible for a whole
human being.
Yeah. And with that comes, it can be cliche and say great power comes great responsibility, but fuck me, that responsibility is now something else.
It's overwhelming.
Completely. Like at 19, like number one, who the fuck did I think I was trying to bring a child into this world? Like, let's be real.
Yeah.
I was a teenager.
Yeah. And it's funny, you'll see, it was 19. My mum was 19 when she had me. So it's like, I never even understood what she has done for me until I had my child.
That's the only time.
I never got it.
You will never
I never
understand
understood
the
it. Never understood it.
sacrifices.
But now I've understood it. She don't care because she's like, give me my grandchild and you can fuck off.
Yeah, but then you can also give the grandchild back and get on with it.
Yeah.
I completely get that. Like, honestly, it's been a journey. And like my daughter's dad, he passed away when she was 4 years old.
Yep.
So there's like another layer onto now. Oh, I was responsible for a human being. Oh, now I'm responsible for a human being by myself.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you never wish for these things. You never think it will happen to you, like something that happened out of a movie. You just have to get on.
Yeah.
You just have to
plow
do.
forward.
And the thing that I've realised, especially like we're dealing with Honey at this age, is there's no fucking manual to this.
There's no rule book.
And as a mother, as a tired ass mother, and I say that because I was working and I didn't get home till 5 o'clock in the morning, and then trying to get here to you today was a nightmare. Just because I'm trying to put food on the table and presents under the tree for Christmas.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't fucking stop.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Oh my gosh. And you know, it's a beautiful thing. Like, no one
Can
will
I just say
ever
something?
take
That
that
you
away.
see everything you're saying, yeah. It's like you look so fleeky today. It's like you wouldn't think. I'm so tired.
So tired. So
So,
tired.
all right, so talk to me about how you orchestrate. Like, okay, so you've been in business for ages and you have had ups and downs with businesses. Because I remember you telling me some real deep stuff, you know, like real deep stuff that is like soul destroying. That would make someone say, I can't deal with this and I don't want to do it anymore. Like, but do you think that if you didn't have your daughter, it would have had an impact on your business where you couldn't be bothered anymore? Or do you think that having her makes you think I'm not quitting this?
100%. You can't.
Okay.
You can't stop. And I always say that if I didn't have my daughter, I probably wouldn't have got into work the way that I did.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have persevered the way that I did to
Okay.
want to be that role model, to be able to develop, and not just for my daughter, but that then as things started to grow for other young black women
Yeah.
that could be single mums, that could be, do you know what I mean, just out there trying to get through and get into the industry. And yeah, you just have to keep going. Like, if it wasn't for her, I definitely would have given up.
Okay.
There are times when, I've had crazy business partners and, you know, business fuck up,
Yeah,
COVID,
yeah,
like, there's no
yeah.
events in the world anymore. Great, so what do I do for 18 months?
Oh my God.
Do you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like, what else can you do but keep
Plow
pushing on?
forward.
And it's funny because there's been so many times that I've thought, you know what, maybe this isn't for me.
Okay.
Maybe running my own business isn't what I should be doing. Maybe I should get a job. Like trying all that. And I remember like 2 years ago applying for jobs, probably made 75 applications. Not one got back to me. Not one. And I was like, is it me?
No,
Am
it's
I
a
underqualified?
sign.
But I was
No,
like, no, fuck this.
no.
I'm overqualified.
Qualified, yeah.
And I'm actually unemployable because I've just been an entrepreneur for so long.
So long, yeah.
So doing this, like, I've been in the industry for 14 years. I think I've had one full-time job when I was 18, just
Okay.
before I found out I was pregnant. I worked in NatWest. Damn, I should have stayed for the maternity leave.
But you know, it's funny you talk about maternity leave because a lot of women that are entrepreneurs and they haven't had children yet, they're very worried about taking time off. But if you have a limited company, right, and you employ yourself, then you can apply for statutory maternity pay, which it's not a lot, but it's a lot more than if you are a sole trader.
Yeah.
So I just want to point that out because I have women I know now that are pregnant, but they're sole traders. And it's like, if you could access that information, you can set yourself up so that you can get your statutory maternity pay. Like when I went on, had maternity leave, obviously you can't perform. Do you know what I mean? But because I was employed through Bingies, I could access my statutory maternity pay. And it was a nice little bit of, like,
sometimes you need a
like
bit
it's
of
tiny,
respite,
but it was
yes.
like, man, this is at least for a year. I know that I don't have to drown myself in running and trying to just, I don't know, do a car boot sale, bro.
Yeah.
Because that you start thinking of some crazy
Done a
shit.
car boot sale.
Listen, I the last car boot sale I done, I was offended because the price drop for the car boot sale these times. They're asking for 10. They want to spend 10 pence. I said, I don't 10p. Bro, no, but come on, Nadu, you make it like
Do you want the shit in your house or not?
10
Get rid of it, 10p.
Yeah, but listen, I was not happy with the prices they wanted off of me. I said, no, I can't do this. Honestly, it was depressing. I thought, nah. And do you know what it was? It's the resellers. You can see they come with their trolleys and they want to buy your stuff for a penny and then they're going and selling it somewhere else. Nah, it done me in. The car boot actually done me in. Done me in. But anyway, I digress. It's just a lot. Like being a woman, being a mum, being an entrepreneur, being a beast of an entrepreneur as well, because it's not just being an entrepreneur. And I think nowadays we have this stigma of entrepreneurialism, which means you set up an Instagram, you drop ship from Alibaba with some eyelashes, and you're a businesswoman, and it's like, girl, that's a hustle.
Yeah.
Okay, so we really have to. Being an entrepreneur and running a successful business is not something that happens and pops on Instagram overnight. It's something that is cultivated for a very long time. And trying to cultivate and trying to raise a young woman is a massive, massive challenge. And it comes with pressures that nobody often speaks about, you know? So what do you think is like one of the biggest pressures that you have been under?
Do you know what? The word you use, cultivate, is exactly it. Because when I think about how long I've been doing this, the people that I've kind of brought onto my wing, it moves me from being, okay, like first I was Nadu.
Yeah.
I have no siblings, so I'm the daughter of two parents. So therefore I am a daughter to two people. then, luckily I don't have any siblings. Well, not luckily, but I don't have any siblings, so I don't have that
So
responsibility.
hold on 1 second. Yeah. So being an only child is fine, right?
I love it.
Okay, right. Because I'm not having any more kids, and all I get
that's
is
great.
told, and I'm like, now one and done. Anyway, carry on.
Your womb, yeah, your choice. No, then I'm a friend, so I've got to be this great friend to these people. Then I've got cousins. Then I've got a team. So now I'm not only responsible for myself, having then my daughter, because I guess I had my team first. That's why I said the team. But then you are a boss to people. You are effectively supporting them, bring income into their household.
Provider.
Exactly. Then you have to be a mother. Then you have to be, now it's like with that family, you're extended. So now you're like an aunt and, to these other people. And then you've got all these layers of who you have to be before you can even be yourself.
Yeah, it's wild.
And it really, really takes so much out. Like literally when I was on my way here, I could feel my stress levels getting higher.
Yeah.
And I just took the time to meditate.
Yeah.
I was just in the taxi, 15 minutes, and I opened my eyes and the woman just literally pulled in downstairs. And I was like, oh shit, we're here already. But sometimes you just need to take that time, because when do you get to just be you outside of everyone else?
So at what stage did you realise that having the meditation as a coping mechanism
Last
or a
week.
tool?
Literally, my fiance was like, I think you need to meditate. Here you go. I was like, thanks, babe.
Okay.
Because I'd never done meditation. Like, I've always, obviously known of it, but never really took that time. It's always fast paced.
Yeah.
In this
and the
industry,
brain don't
you
switch
have
off.
to, at
No.
all.
Yeah, the brain don't switch off.
And so you have to be, and what I've realized in the last couple of years is all of the sacrifices I've made over my entire career, over my daughter's entire existence, don't mean fuck all. Because ultimately, you just get punished for all the wrongs that you've done, everything that you've ever tried to make effort for.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I'm just human. I'm just trying. There's no manual. This is my first time doing this. It's one of the things I always said to my daughter growing up, like when she was 6 years old. I've never been a parent to a 6-year-old before.
Yeah.
You've never been the daughter of, at 6 years old to someone. We have to figure this out together.
Yeah.
Like it's us.
So would you say that having an open dialogue and the transparency of we're winging this is really, really important when raising your children? Because I think the perception is that parents want to be perfect to their children. So it's like, I don't want to show them, how can I say it? It's like, I just don't want to show them any imperfection. I want them to know that this is how it is, and it's just plain sailing. And
Don't do that. Honestly, one thing I say, don't do that. When my daughter's dad passed away when she was 4, I remember turning around and maybe she was about 7 years old, and she must have been like, Mum, I've never seen you cry over Dad. These times I'm like, huh?
I've cried a million times.
I couldn't get out of bed for a week. I had to push through, and it's like, what you do is when you put that mask on to be strong, to not show those imperfections, to not kind of have those in-depth conversations, it's a blocker.
Wow.
So not realizing.
That's so deep.
No, babe, that's why I said, how long do you have and how deep do you want to get? Because where I'm at now, like in the last 3 months of my time on this earth with my daughter, the hardest it's ever been.
Okay.
At this age.
And they do say that when they get to the teenage age, and I go back to when I was a teenager, it's like I would say I was a pretty good kid. My mum would say I was a pretty good kid. But then you get to a teenage life, and then it's like you almost want to just be alone for some weird reason. You don't want your mum's involvement. You don't want your nan and granddad's involvement.
You're finding yourself.
Yes.
You want to be independent, be this adult.
And then for 16 years, you have been the protector, the provider, the role model, the superhero. And then all of a sudden, it's like you're sacked of all of those jobs.
That's exactly it. That's a really good way to put it. Because I had to turn around to my daughter and I was like, do you remember when you couldn't eat?
Yeah.
And I had to feed you.
And I had to wipe your ass.
Do you remember when you couldn't walk? And I had to teach you.
Yeah,
You couldn't read. You couldn't do any of those things.
Yeah.
I had to teach you. And it's not now you get to say, no, fuck off.
Yeah. But
No, it doesn't end now.
It doesn't. But for her, in this period of her time, in the next, and I honestly believe it will go until she may or may not have children and understand that overbearing responsibility that you had, that she will never understand unless she's put into that position. Because I genuinely think, I feel like I said to my mum, as I said earlier on, it's like, Mum, I'm sorry, because I've been very selfish. I remember when I got my first flat and I went and bought all my seasonings and that. And she said, but I did say to you, I wanted to get you all the seasonings and stuff. And I was like, I know, but I got it. What's the big deal? Why are you going on about this?
Fucking ungrateful
and
child.
now I
That's what I'm
realise
saying.
I'm ungrateful. No, I realise. I'm like, no, but I'm actually ungrateful because she really wanted to do something nice for me. And all I could think about is, I've got my own flat. I don't have to pick up the phone to anyone. I can do what I want. I don't have to tell you where I am. I'm my own person. But it's like I ripped the Band-Aid off without her even having the time to adjust. Yeah. So who's wrong?
The thing is, I don't even think there's
no one's wrong.
Do you know what I mean? It's just that growth. We can only grow through our own experiences.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure there's things that you learn. There's definitely things that I learned, like growing up, the things that I will do and won't do as a parent, just because what I've learned from my experiences.
Okay,
and you try to refine that process and apply it to your children. They're going to have this shit that, well, I'm going to refine that because that's what I wouldn't do as a parent,
because you do
what
it
I would
different.
do.
Yeah, because you want to be different. Like,
And
everyone wants to be different.
I'm not. No one says you have to be like me.
Yeah.
I want you to be a better version of me.
yourself.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you can be that best version of yourself.
Yeah.
I'm only taking from my experience and can only pass that on to you.
Yeah.
What you then do with that, I just hope that I've installed enough of the foundation elements
That you're good to go.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's wild. Like, so you grew up with a mum and a dad. So you had both examples kind of like to look into, like to what to have. Like, I grew up in a single parent family. So my dad was in prison basically the whole of my life. So I never had that male role model. Like, do you know what I mean? I don't know what that looks like. Like, I don't know what it's meant to look like. You know? So for me, like, having a family now and having a dad present is so strange because it's like, my daughter is team mum all the way. Like, you know, I beef her dad and she'll remember what I've beefed him about. And then if she sees it happening again, she's like, Daddy, you've left your shoes down there and Mummy don't like it. And I'm thinking, babes, we're on a good one. You're fucking up my shit. She's very much, do you know what I mean? Like, really always on my side, Nadu. Like, it's crazy. So to get to a place in life where, for me now, to think that one day she's going to look at me and she's not going to look at me like I'm her superhero. Like, it is like soul destroying. Really like, so what is the advice for me, knowing that is coming one day? Like, it could, like, you got 99% chance that it's coming for you because the best kids in the world, as I said, I was a really good kid. My mum had me and then she had my sister and she was like, the fuck is this shit? Like, you was an angel child. This shit is some trouble shit. I'm doing the same shit, but the same results ain't happening. It's not working. Different child, different thing altogether. Yeah. So it's like, she could be an amazing kid, but then you still get to the age where you want to step into your own. Yeah. So what do I do?
Girl, I have no advice to give because honestly, I can only talk about my own experience. Like, that's literally how I feel, and it's mad. It's really difficult because I feel like you're never gonna fucking get it right. You never, Like, you can only do what you think is the best thing to do, and like right now we're dealing with a completely different generation.
Yeah, 100%.
Completely different layers that actually we just don't fucking understand. We don't.
And I think, do you think that the kids nowadays are precious? And when I say precious, it's like, I remember,
cotton wool.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of mental pressure and the suicidal stuff. We have to take it way more serious, because if I'd have said to my mum, however many years ago, oh, I hate you, I'm going to kill myself, she'd have been like, here's the rope, little bitch, go about your business, because we were born tough. Whereas now, if you've done that, you're open. It's recipe for disaster. 100%. Do you know what I mean? So
trigger warning, honestly, and that's why I said, how real do you want me to be? The 11th of September, she tries to kill herself.
Oh my gosh, Nadu, no.
So like, she literally tried to take her own life.
That is really hard.
And it was like the hardest thing.
My gosh, oh my babes. Because you give her everything.
And you know.
I know.
Like, everything you're in my being.
You are a woman that walked into my office with your daughter and you said it's her birthday and I'm going to pay for her to set up her own clothing line. Do you understand? Yeah, you think you don't even remember how hard you go. Yeah, seriously. Yeah, like, you are a woman that your honey comes first. She comes first all the time. Since I've met you, honey comes first. Yeah, and you put her every need above and beyond your own in every sense of the word. And I mean that. And I've met a lot of parents. And this is why I said to you when I reached out to you, I said, I want to speak to you because I have so much admiration for everything that you have done. And to hear that, I understand the pain because she's not a wayward child.
At all.
No, she's not.
At all.
So for people listening, she's not. She's not a way. She's not.
The most beautiful, the most intelligent, the most experienced,
gentle.
the most. But it's like all of those decisions. So for context, obviously, she went to school internationally.
Yep, she did. Which is such an
Nigeria.
amazing opportunity.
Right? For us. For our
us,
generation.
yes,
Do you know what I mean? So it's like all of these things that you think, okay, is that step? It just feels like it just soul destroyed in so many little elements that you think it's like, well, this is a great opportunity and this is, you know, we know long term the contacts you're going to have, the friends you're going to have.
But in the moment,
it just chips away in different ways.
Okay.
And so all of these things that for me are the foundations of what I believe would be great for my daughter to experience so that when she's out in the real world, and again, I can only take from the industry that I work in, the work that I do, my own map of the world, these are the things that...
And everything you're saying to me tick all my boxes. Right. Do you understand? Because it's like social positioning. How like when I went to school in Holston, didn't go to private school, didn't really go to much of anything. So my network is who I've met along the way.
Exactly.
My network is you. And my network is, I don't know, Ben Scars, who now manages Dave and the twins and Shams, you know, who's flipping... you know, doing massive stuff with venture capitalism. I've created that along my way. Yeah. So for me, I think if I could put her in private school, it would be amazing because she would then have all of my network, but then she's going to have her own.
Right?
But what you're saying is that is might not be the right move.
Because that's ours. That's our vision. Dreams. That's our dreams. That's what we want. And that's what I mean is like we can only do based on our experience, what we want to achieve for our children. And what I realise is sometimes it's not that.
Yeah, that's not what they want.
But it's a catch-22 because if you don't do this, and I'm like, if you stayed in Deptford in the middle of the hood, you went to the and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, though, for kids that go to that school, but like I had an opportunity
to create something better.
Exactly. To put you in those positions. Like my thing with, you know, schooling internationally, especially on the continent of Africa, was like, I want you to be around Black excellence. I want you to see that actually you can be the politician, you can be these things because we're a little bit further removed from it in the UK.
We are.
And you need to stand your generational wealth comes from the continent.
Nadu, you are so right. Everything you're saying is resonating. Listen to how simple this is. Last year, I done a grotto for Kizzy at home because there was no grottos and all the rest of it. And I'm obsessed with Black excellence. I'm obsessed with her seeing herself in every position in the world. So we got Santa. Santa's Black. He's brown. He's there. He's here. We've got pictures. And this year, I'm setting up for Christmas. I've got out my little, what are they called? Them little nutcrackers and all my display. And I've got a little Santa. He's white. And she's looked at it and she said, he's not brown. And I go, yeah, because sometimes there are white Santas. She goes, yeah, but we need to get a brown Santa, Mum. And a part of me felt so excited that she sees that. And then another part of me felt like, what have I done? Because I've created mission impossible. Yes. Because where can I order a fucking Black Santa? Like, is she? I've
Don't
cut
worry,
my.
I can get you one on that.
You need to hook. You need to hook me up. So what you're doing, like, I see that, and I would mirror that because I feel like. But then it goes back to what you're saying. Is that what we want because we missed out? But then if you have it. Did you really need it? I don't know.
I don't fucking know either. And this is the thing, and I think this is the thing that just hurts. Like you said, like you feel like that Band-Aid's been ripped off. Fuck you, I'm going to do my own life. Which effectively, I created this fucking monster. Because I wanted you to be independent, to be great, to have all these things, to be this visionary person.
Yeah. But I'm giving you all the tools, but don't run away from me.
I'm still here. I like you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's such a difficult balance. And I think one of the things I am realising at this age is, you know, having to just step back just a little bit more.
Okay.
Just a little bit more. And
allowing the independence for you to really have independence.
100%. But it's a bit of a catch-22 in my situation because she's had the independence and didn't like the independence. But like some of the independence.
Okay.
But then I was like, well, some of it you can't have it all.
And do you know what you're dealing with as well, Nadu? Let me just please point out, we have gone through 2 years that no other generation has ever gone through. The generation it's insanely confusing for us as adults, but for her age, it's even more confusing. And like after the lockdown, like Kizzy was a very confident child, walking into a room, talk to anybody, very, very sociable. And after lockdown, she went back into school and she was a shell of herself. Like, she was going to family functions and she's like not talking to no one. Wow. Don't want to go to her nan. And I spoke to the teacher about it and she said, this age group and the teenagers are the worst affected with the pandemic because they, for some reason, they're just affected completely differently. So I've gone above and beyond to try and get her back to herself, and we're on the right track. She's got a couple of lines in the nativity play, dashed her in a bit of stagecoach, and she's coming back out of herself. But I think, the reason why I pointed that out is because there's no rule book to deal with these age groups right now. So everything you're doing is you're just got to try.
What else can I do? I've never been a fucking mother of a 16-year-old that's just gone through a whole pandemic and the whole fucking world has been affected.
Yes.
Like, what can I do? And it's funny because it's like we lived this like pre-BC, before COVID, this great fucking lifestyle. Yeah. I'm not going to lie. Traveling around the world, doing different things, like different opportunities. Money wasn't really a thing. To now be restricted and be like, no, we can't actually live in South Africa. Yeah. We can't actually maybe move and go on this holiday. Yeah, and actually we have to stay back home in Deptford, in the cold, in London.
Yeah, where I ripped you from.
Where I ripped you from. And now it's like, shit, you have to be here. And it's like, but why?
Yeah. Like, you told me I shouldn't be
like,
here.
Literally.
Yeah,
and it's like, Nadu, I am not in control of this. Yeah. I am doing what, with the tools that I have, like, this is what I'm doing.
Can offer. Yeah.
Literally. And it's just like...
It's insane. Do you know what? It's like, for me, I'm a solutions-based person. I like to think of, but we could try this and you could do that. What you have on your hands at the moment is something that, there's just no rule book. And you're going to just have to put one foot forward at a time and know that in the universe and how it is, everything happens in the way it's meant to happen. And you can't do anything any different, and you couldn't have done anything any different because you needed to get to this point here today. You needed to get to this point, and God willing, we have honey still, and we can work out how you comfort her and you be there and you allow her, and as you said, it's like give her what she wants by giving her a little bit but maybe not giving her too much.
And it's the thing, because it's still like, oh, but can I come home at midnight? But no, because you're still 16.
Yeah.
So it's like the boundaries of parenting are crazy. Are also semi-restricted.
And would you say that you're like more, you have parents that are like friend parents, and then you have the parents that are the disciplinary parents. Where are you on the spectrum?
Well, it's funny because Honey will always say, well, you've always told me you're not my friend. And it's not like that, but I've always been authoritative. Yeah, of course. Yes, that is the word. Yeah. Because... me and you ain't size.
Yes. And I think it's really, really important because you get to that stage where you're doing it. I am doing it.
Yes. And I am doing it. And it's funny because like even at this stage, like obviously I smoke weed. Yeah. When I'm in South Africa, it's legal. In New York, it's legal. When I come to London, I'm like, oh,
it's not happening here.
Yeah, it's not legal here. Oh yeah, shit. Yeah. I remember. Yeah. Then obviously at 16, I know you're going to be trying things and experimenting and like even... we were in Zanzibar for her 16th birthday. We were in Zanzibar in the middle of COVID last year.
No, but you really dropped these. It was just in Zanzibar.
Do you know what I mean? Like, let's look at the context. Everyone is in lockdown in the world. We are in Zanzibar on the fucking beach. Okay. I'm giving you a spliff for your 16th birthday. You're turning 16.
Yeah, you're so sick.
Making that be confusing to be like, oh, then you approve, and it's not that I approve, but I've also been 16.
Yes, and you want to, and also it's like. It's like the thing where you see the kids that have never tasted alcohol in front of their parents. Wild! And then they get to 18 and they're the ones laying on the street in a skirt over their head and their friend just thumped them up. You know what girls I'm talking about, innit? You know them ones, and then they're like, I love you! Next day, wild. Not me, but I've seen it. So it's like, it's trying to get that contrast. So it's like you give them a taste, so they don't crave to taste it. Because once they taste it, they realise it's really not even that serious. So I'm here for it. I totally get you. And it's like doing it under supervision is different than doing it on your own. Yeah. And understanding if someone hands you this and you don't know what they've put in it, it could be very dangerous. So there's so many aspects to what you've done that is safeguarding in a strange way. But
I'm your mother.
Yeah.
This is my duty. I have a duty of care.
So then do you feel like because you are like a free-spirited mum in a sense, because you're allowing certain things, that then for her maybe the lines are blurred, because then she's thinking, but you're cool. But then hold on, but then you're not cool.
It's like you said, but you do it.
Yeah.
Yes, I am 36 years old. Do you know what I mean?
I'm a whole adult.
A whole adult. And I've had to go through my own things to get to this point, to know that I can even function at this level.
Yeah,
I'm not saying now you start trying this shit and see if you can function.
Yeah, no,
that's
no,
not
no.
what this is.
Okay.
But it's now having to really backtrack the conversation to bring it right down to like Kizzy's age.
Yeah.
Of really breaking things down. Well, no, mummy can do this. Kizzy can't do that.
Yeah.
And like breaking down the why of things.
Okay.
And I always found that when Honey was around age 7, 8, it was always why. And I realized I've got friends who just tell their kids, they just tell them it is what it is.
Yeah.
I would always explain.
Okay.
Because I always felt that you need to understand the reason behind something. Because even like when I work in events, we're telling people to go put something away. If I just tell you to do it, you'll just do it. But if I tell you the reason why and you see the knock-on effect of things, then hopefully when you're in that situation
you'll just get on with it.
Exactly, because it will make sense. So now it's like going back through this process.
Okay. So do you think, comparing the explanation to the non-explanation kids, what is the main difference that you would see in the sense of, because my mum's a massive explainer and I'm like, don't explain it. Some things is just no. Yeah, and my mum will, and my mum's a massive. She'll be like, "No, but Kizzy, I'm giving her some massive explanation." And I watch Kizzy running rings around her because I think, no, she knows. Sometimes she just need. I think it's a balance, isn't there?
And I think it's with things.
Yeah,
there are gonna be things where it's just because I said so.
No.
Don't ask big woman a fucking big question. Do you know what I mean? Like sometimes, and
you
sometimes
gotta take
I
it
have
basic.
to put that down.
Yeah,
but I also say to Honey, like, I don't want to have to flex as your mum.
Yeah, okay.
Because I can.
Yeah.
I don't need to, so don't
behave.
make me.
Yeah, I hear you.
Because that is then, okay, we can be cool, we can be friends, we can be cool, but don't make me have to fucking flex on you as your mum. Yeah. Because you're not going to like it.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to like it. Now we're
cool.
living in this household where none of us like this situation.
Yeah.
But we didn't have to
the
be
energy's
here.
just gone mad.
So like example, like curfew 9:30. It is winter, it gets dark.
Yeah.
If you're with a friend 10 o'clock, cool.
Okay.
Right? Going out, whatever, 9 o'clock, mum, can I extend my curfew to midnight? Excuse me? You're asking me an hour before, where are you going? How are you getting home? Who are you going with?
Yeah,
you see?
Who are the people? Where?
Hello, there's a whole line of questions. It's not just, because you now want to go do something.
Yeah.
So then comes home, tries to come home on time, comes home late. So number 1. Next day, same thing. Does that strike number 2? But then you want to argue with me about coming home late. If you come home on time, then we're going to have more room to have a conversation
about extensions and changes and and all the rest of it.
And you know that it's just for your safety that I want to know. Do you know what I mean? How are you getting to... You need to know how you're getting to and from places.
Yeah.
We live in London. Ubers be cancelling all the time.
So, but do you think, though, Nadu, that when we were younger, we never saw the dangers that obviously we see now?
Of course you don't see the dangers.
So they're just
you're
living
16, living your life, doing what you want. But I've lived those dangers. I've experienced some of those. So I'm only telling you from my experience. And God forbid, it has to be something that happens that makes you understand that.
100%.
And I think that's just the mother in us.
Yeah.
So we'll always try and just cushion that a bit more. Just learn. And yes, you are going to make your own mistakes.
That's fine.
And you will grow from them. That's fine. But there's within reason with things.
There is. You're right. And I think that it's as the life that you have created for yourself and for your daughter and for your fiance. I think that, it just becomes a thing where you're just continually learning and you're just kind of moving the boundary slightly left and right so that everyone can still be at least a bit happy while we're going through this mad learning curve. Because it is a massive learning curve, whatever way you look at it. And I hate to keep talking about the pandemic, but that is a massive factor on their age group. The social media that is happening at the moment is wild.
Even for us.
No, and that's what and as a grown person, and for someone I'm on Instagram, I'm a recording artist, I want to make sure I look good all the time. It's pressure. And I see young girls doing filler and the lips and so many changes at such an early age. It is soul destroying to watch because you think we're kind of looking the same age, boo boo. This is not cool. No, and I'll be honest, I'm holding out to get my work done. Do you know what I mean? Give it some time. Live in your skin. So it's just a really tough time and it's so strange. But I commend you.
Thank you.
Nadu, seriously, you dropped some bombs today. And what I'm telling you is, no matter what happens in life, and this is something that I've learned from you I think it was at a cafe one day, we had a meeting in a cafe. I don't know where, somewhere in East London somewhere you dragged me to because I don't do East. And I've come all this way, we're having this meeting and you was telling me about some of the hustles and bustles with a business partner you had, something was going on. And I can't remember what was happening with Honey at the time. And I just remember looking at you and thinking, you are truly amazing because you juggle, you bounce back, you set up an amazing life for your family. Amazing. And all of those things, don't ever let them fly by you, however hard the situation is now. Because whatever is happening now is for you. This could be happening so that you can support her in a way when she has her own children. You just don't know the reason why all these things are happening. I'm telling you. And you have given me so much that information today that has helped me understand how to even shape my own daughter's future. Because I'm like you. Bitch, I want you to be the best. But she might not grow up wanting to be the best. Yeah. And that's okay. And I think that's the lesson in parenting that we take a very long time to learn. However much we want to put on them, we have to allow them at some stage to cultivate whatever they want to do and really take a deep sigh and say, I've done a good job no matter what happens. And you have done a fucking amazing job. I swear to God, I'm serious. I'm so proud of you. But yeah, we are running out of time today. I want you back. I'll be back. Are you over?
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm still...
Okay, that's all right. It's fine. Everything happens for a reason. Yeah. I've got one last question to ask you before we lock this off and run away. So the title of the podcast. There's a lot of women who are in my position, but some women it's cultivated and it's gone to a better place for them. In your household, Nadu, can you shit in peace?
My God, you know what? Not often. Still not often. Like the other day, honey just opened the bathroom door, just looked at me. What? Shut the fucking door.
It's never ending. It's never going to end. Oh, but thank you so much. I love you, baby.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for watching. Deuces.